Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. I know what you're thinking. If you watched the last Gary Ghost video like Josh, why are you doing more reaction videos? Why do another one today? Why are you doing multiple? Literally because I'm bored. I got nothing to do, so I'm just gonna do another one. I have two more planned today. You're gonna get 3 reaction videos today. The one you saw, that's already up. And then 2 extras. Literally just because I got nothing to do. Got nothing to watch, got nothing to do. You might get more than 1 reaction video over the next few days. Pretty much until the 14th. Because that's when the newest wrestling game comes out and it gives me more stuff to do. Up until then, I'm going... and I can do that on the wrestling video game channel, All-Star Wrestling. Which, if you go click on the channel, my channel, and scroll down, you'll find that if you want to subscribe to that. But I'm just trying to find some stuff to do. So I'm just gonna do some more reaction videos during the day. I have a poll up on the community page of my channel asking how many I should do. So go vote on that. And yeah. Let's get into this one. This one was from that chapter. Kylie Nagy talked on one of my community posts, saying one of the first ones I've done, when I asked for people what they like seeing me react to, she said she'll like seeing me react to that chapter. And this, when I was scrolling through to find a video, this one caught my eye, and it said Taylor Swift stalked him, so he did the unthinkable. So I'm trying to figure, I have no idea what the story is. So we're gonna get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's go.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this whole video, I'm going to tell you the story of a Waffle House in Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee to be specific, which I try to be, unless I'm using the bathroom. This is one of those cases, right, where it's like, yo, don't blame me, I was just following orders, blame the person I was listening to. But it just so happens the person they were listening to was like, the dog or something.
Then I open up, so that's suspicious, I think that's suspicious that I see these fingerprints on there.
I was walking by, trying to figure out who was knocking on my window. Someone was knocking.
This is 33 minutes long, so knowing I'm going to give my opinion, this might go long. This will at least be 40 minutes. I can already feel it.
On my window outside the building.
These voices were telling him, though, that he was being stalked. Stalked by Taylor Swift, no less, which, hey, doesn't...
Okay, so he had voices in his head that were telling him he's stalked by Taylor Swift. That explains this, because I don't think Taylor Swift would bother stalking anyone's ass.
Sound like much of a problem to me, you know what I mean? Though that's just how the story begins. It's not how it ends. So let's give it a go.
Give it the old go.
To begin, let's go to Antioch, which is a neighborhood in southeast Nashville, Tennessee. It's one of the fastest growing areas of the city, mainly because it's a decent location and the rent is a-okay with me. As far as crime rates go in the area, it seems to be kind of a mixed bag. Some people say it has a reputation of being not the safest, but others say, they've never felt in danger. It's always been a lovely area. More recently,
very interesting that a place can be considered dangerous, but also not dangerous by people at the same time. Like, you don't really see... Usually if a place is dangerous, it's mainly seen as dangerous by most people. Very interesting that's, like, right down the middle of people's opinion on a city. Yeah, I don't know why I just found it very... Also, I just want to throw this in there. If you're watching my video... Right, if you watch this video, I want to know where you're watching it from. I'm just kind of curious from where in the world and that are people watching my video. So just let me know in the comments. I'm kind of curious.
Though there's been a surge, but we're not going to more recently. We are going to the year 2018. At 3571 Murfreesboro Pike lies a Waffle House. That's in eastern Antioch, along the busy road heading into or right out of downtown Nashville.
Okay.
It only opened just earlier that year, and so we are going there to the early morning of the 22nd of April 2018. Not to chow down, my friends, virtual breakfasts being the worst sort of breakfasts. I don't know where I'm going with this. What was I going to say? The point is, that Waffle House and all Waffle Houses, you know, they're open 24/7. Waffle House does not close, like, ever. There's even a metric called the Waffle House Index, where you can judge how bad a storm or hurricane will be by whether Waffle Houses are open or not. If the Waffle House near you closes during a storm, it basically just means you're fucked. And this Waffle House we are going to, in Antioch, it was open at around 3:20 AM on the 22nd of April, 2018. It was a Sunday morning, you know, people heading in for some soakage after a night out, and into the car park that dark night pulled a gold Chevy Silverado pickup. The Waffle House was busy enough, there was over 20 customers inside, and the driver of that pickup stayed inside his vehicle and just watched for about 4 minutes.
That's weird. Nope, that already gives me... See, if I saw a man watching... See, because here's the thing, I bet you most people think, oh, he's just waiting for someone to arrive, or maybe he's waiting for something. I'd be too creeped out by the man. A man staring at the Waffle House for 4 minutes? Nah, that's too long. I'm leaving by then. I ain't dealing with you. I don't want to. You're weird.
What he was doing during those 4 minutes, nobody knows. Just staring, thinking, preparing. Then, at 3:24, he got out. He was wearing nothing but a green jacket, hanging down. But in his hands was an AR-15. He walked towards that Waffle House, and he started shooting. His name was Travis Reinking, and this was a long, and I mean like long time coming. There was a million warning signs, you know what I mean, that this was imminent, right? And still it happened. Many people's lives were ruined by this, while, you know, other people's lives were just ended.
This is a situation I would feel when mental illness was there, all the signs were there, yet no one did nothing. And that could be related to family not helping them. The system we've seen, Jesus Christ, have we seen many times, even in this day and age where the simplest thing, yet there's signs all there that someone's a dangerous individual, yet for some reason, this freaking system, the justice system just leaves these people out and about and literally and this is a sentence why does someone have to die for the system to give a shit? I never have understood it. It seems to be the case nowadays. Unless someone dies, system just kind of lets them go. I don't get it.
Travis was born on the 1st of February 1989. His parents Jeffrey and Judy. He was from the small town of Morton, Illinois. It's in central Illinois. Small enough.
What? Who the hell? What is this part about? I need more context for this. I know it doesn't matter, but this just confused the hell out of me. I was so confused by this.
He was from the small town of Morton, Illinois. It's in central Illinois. Small enough, less than 20,000 people reside. And it is the self-declared pumpkin capital of the world.
Oh, that looks weird.
That's nice. Good for them. You are the pumpkin capital of the world. Travis grew up in a middle-class house, one of 4, and he had everything he wanted. His dad owned his own company, J&J Cranes, a crane rental company, which operated out of Tremont, which is the next town over. They were a well-respected family, you know, good peoples. Travis, he was homeschooled for pretty much all his youth. He spent 1 semester in the local high school, after which his parents were like, not really for him. Don't know why. There's like 0 records of why Travis was taken out of the local school and brought back home to be homeschooled.
Now, I'm not saying this to reason. there ever a possibility your child might have been incredibly stupid? And you blame the school? Really? It's just your child's stupid. I mean, clearly, your child's a little bit loco. We're gonna come to the realization this child's a little all there. Was this your way of preventing that? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the logical reason you would just take him out of the school for no reason would be.
The teachers didn't remember him there, other students didn't remember him there at all. He was one of those just very much under the radar sort of fellas. Well, he feckin' made up for that later, let me tell you. After school, Travis got a job with the family business, working in the construction sector, and he began renting an apartment on his lonesome, which was in fact located above J&J Cranes. Now, it was in the middle of nowhere, no neighbors at all, so to speak. And so it was around the year 2014, when he was at the tender age of about 24 years old, 25 years old, that he started to hear things and see things. This was in his mid-20s, and
So, okay, here's another thing that, again, I don't have the answer to this. I'm just kind of throwing out things that my brain's thinking. This is how these go. Is it possible that him being removed from school, him not communicating, him not being part of regular school, not interacting with many people, he was taken and moved to a place where he's in the middle of fucking nowhere? I know that fucking experience before. And he doesn't communicate with many people. Is it possible that could have caused him to start hearing things in his head? I don't know. I'm not a fucking psychologist or anything. I don't know if that's possible. I might be just speaking out of my ass. That's probably the case. I'm probably speaking out of my ass, but I'm just kind of throwing out things here.
And your mid-20s is when you're most likely to develop schizophrenia, and Travis sure as hell did. But what was really like the crux of it for Travis was when, in 2015, he went to a concert, a Taylor Swift gig, right? Big fan, I guess he is, and so he was having a good time, you know, bopping away, and during that gig, he saw Taylor Swift mouth to him. And so after that, he was upset. Now, it seems very unlikely she did that, like he was seeing it, but he became completely obsessed with Taylor Swift.
Oof. So this guy saw his own, like, he just saw, he visioned, even though it didn't actually happen, he saw her say hello to him. And that's all it took. And now he's, like, obsessed. Ooh, he went down a dark road quickly.
After that, things going off the rails swiftly followed. He was obsessed. He started to believe they were boyfriend-girlfriend, that she was speaking to him, talking to him, sending him messages. He began writing letters.
Oh, the celebrity crush of the celebrity stalker. Oh, there's a Nick Crowley video I will be doing one of these days involving someone who has that and how bad it goes. I'll do that one, maybe tomorrow. I might do that one tomorrow.
To her. God knows where these letters are actually going in reality. I mean, who knows? Here's a letter. Taylor, I'm really confused right now. I don't know if it was you in the pictures on Instagram or someone who looks like you. Do you really have a twin sister? Which is the one I'm in love with then? I want the Taylor that wrote those beautiful songs and sang to me at her concert. Maybe Taylor 1 wrote half and Taylor 2 wrote half. Maybe I saw Taylor 1...
What? What is this guy's lost it. This guy has no actual brain of thought.
in Morton and Taylor 2 in concert.
What?
Who was the girl in the music videos then? Yeah, he completely believed they were boyfriend-girlfriend, they would fight, they would send messages, shoot to each other, they would talk to each other all the time. Obviously, this was completely up here. And he did not keep it to himself. He was happily, yapping away. Oh, jeez. Ball and chain, Taylor Swift, she's acting up again. Women, what? And people were, This was just the start. And his parents soon become, deservedly so, you know, very, very worried about young Travis, who was, the delusions were only getting worse. It was in May 2016 that his parents called the county sheriff, asking essentially for help about what he was going through. He clearly needed help. You know, he was going off the rail. Like, he was telling them, you know, they were sending messages to each other all the time, writing letters. She was communicating with him all the time. He even claimed that once him and Taylor Swift had agreed to meet at the local Dairy Queen. And when he arrived, he saw her. She sprinted off and then Spider-Man'd up a building. And he was like, where's she gone?
What? That's next level delusion. That is next level. That is concerning to me more than any other one I've heard. What? My brain can't fathom what he just said. What?
He was utterly paranoid at this point, believing that his parents and the police were also in on it too. So clearly he needed some help, right? It was help he would never really get. So after his parents called the police, you know, saying, here, listen, we need to take him to a hospital, he needs treatment, he resisted, but he went eventually. He was in for about 9 days, and the doctors were like, well, here's a prescription, you are diagnosed with schizophrenia, you're good to go, pal, you know, take care, champ. He got his, you know, the medic.
This is what they do. I'm telling you, the system will leave you here. The system abandoned this dude, just gave him a little prescription, say, there you go, we've done our part for the day. And it took the result of the end of this video, that will come, we know what it is, for these people to care.
Medication, but he was not taking shit. A couple of months later, he moved to Salida, Colorado, and he lived there from August 2016 to the following March 2017, working in the crane industry for a family friend. There, you know, people would say he was a nice, polite, friendly guy who was obsessed with Taylor Swift. He was telling all the co-workers, yeah, you know, we're getting married. He even bought a 14 grand diamond ring for their wedding, but he would also say that she was stalking him. He was now saying she had done the old switcheroo and she was hacking his computers and breaking into his apartment and doing it all.
No. 911 emergency.
Yeah,
No! I was like, please don't tell me. Please don't tell me this guy was gonna call 911 point that Taylor Swift just broke into his home. Please don't tell me he's going to do this. I heard the voice of a guy and I was like, no, don't tell me that this is so. I couldn't imagine getting this phone call. I couldn't.
I need to report something, and every time I go to the sheriff's office, it's closed.
Okay, what do you need to report?
I have somebody stalking me around town, and I do not appreciate it. I want it to stop, and no one.
I do not appreciate the stalking, alright? I'm not worried about it, I just don't appreciate it.
Seems to take me seriously when I say that.
Okay, and who is it that's stalking you?
Taylor Swift.
And that is when they stop taking you seriously. I would have hung up the phone. I would hang up the phone. This is where I'd hang up the phone.
Okay, and what is your name?
The minute of silence, she's just like, okay. I don't know what do you say as a response to that. This is the thing, is this guy clearly has a mental issue, right? But this 911 person doesn't care. That's not their problem. Police in the area, that's their problem. Like, this 911 person is just fortunately dealing with some, like, this is a call. Even if I knew the person had mental issues, I wouldn't know how to react.
Travis, ranking. I mean, everywhere I go, like, they're stalking on the internet, they're stalking me, like, in person, everywhere I go. I'm pretty sure, like, the police here are involved in it.
Dude. This is next level delusion. This is a boy who's gone. Oh my god.
And, like, I want it to stop. It's stupid. No one has the right to do that to me.
What exactly are they doing?
They're getting, like, they're doing some kind of, like, I don't know exactly how they're doing it, but somehow they're, like, getting on my Facebook, they're getting on my YouTube, they're getting on my Netflix, and they're changing the videos that I see as they pop up.
He eventually left after he believed the police were in on it too, and so the owner of that construction company in Colorado calls Jeffrey Ryan King and be like, "Hey, listen, I think your son might need some help. He's not altogether together." Like, his parents fully knew what was going on. Nothing kind of really happened, though.
Oh my god, no one gave a shit about this dude and it caused this. Parents didn't do anything. The system didn't do anything. This guy had a mental disorder and was by himself dealing with this delusion. Oh my god.
I mean, you know how I began this story.
Everyone turned.
He moved back to the apartment in Tremont, and 3 months later, he approached an employee of his father's business wearing nothing but a pink dress and carrying an AR-15, screaming at this other employee. You don't usually want someone screaming at you when they're carrying a rifle. And so after he ran away, he ran into his car and he drove off. And then later that same day, he went to a public pool in Illinois and he jumped in, again wearing the pink dress. And so when the police were called to be, you know, hey, there's this guy doing odd stuff in this public pool, well, he took off all his clothes and he just showed them his dick. So he did love hanging dong, but at this stage,
I got nothing. My brain went blank. I got nothing here.
clearly, well, his family knew something was wrong. His friends knew something was wrong. And nothing happened again.
Nope, no one cared. He was left alone.
My parents had me taken to a mental institution for looking for Taylor Swift. Because a long time ago, I had read some stuff on the internet, and it made me think that she was uptown. So I was like, I'll just go look uptown and see if she's up there, you know? And I asked my mom to go with me, because I was like, I don't want to be bored just, playing this game, you know? So I'll have someone go with me, and they can help me, you know, find this person. You know, and so I asked my mom to go. Next thing I know, we're out front of CVS, and the police are pulling up. This guy comes out from ERS, the police pull up, you know, and I'm being arrested and everything. This is where I live, this is where I reside. No one can come in here. The door is locked. There's nothing saying anyone can come in here. And so, anyway, I come in here, I come into my bathroom, and I notice in my bathroom that the toilet seat is up.
That's it. That's it. That's life changing. He can never how could he be safe? How could he be safe? My god. Look at this. Look at this vile, atrocious thing that happened here. I mean, this is clearly evidence. I mean, look at this. Look at this. How could this is vile proof? There's not, what other result could there be? There was no other explanation than clearly Taylor Swift came in here, broke into this man's apartment, put the toilet seat up, and left. That has to be what happened here, right? That has to be.
The toilet seat is up on my toilet. I haven't put my toilet seat up. I know for a fact that this toilet seat was down. I know for a fact that the toilet seat was down. I never put my toilet seat up because I don't like it messing up my toilet. And yet this is what's happened. And then before...
Did he just say I don't put my toilet seat up because I don't like it messing with my toilet? Is that what he just said, or I didn't mishear that?
You know, I have come in here and the door the door will be cracked like that. You know, it's not all the way shut, it's not all the way open. I always leave it all the way open, or I leave it all the way shut. So somebody has been coming in here. And then, like I said to my dad the other day, there was fingerprints on the sides of my laptop. There's fingerprints on the sides. I never opened the lid that way. Why is somebody coming in my apartment and doing this stuff? You know, this is illegal.
This is a guy whose mental disorder is the newest level. Oh my god.
Why is somebody getting on my private property like that? Why is someone going to my bathroom? And that's the thing, is I know for a fact that I never lift the toilet seat. I never...
I mean, clearly this is evidence. This is his groundbreak. This is his hot gotcha moment. Taylor clearly, like we said, Taylor must have just broken in and just... Taylor so clearly broke in, lifted the toilet seat up, just halfway closed the door, and left it, and just left. That's clearly what happened. I mean, that must be the case here.
Put the toilet seat up. I never do that. I mean, yeah, okay, maybe once in a while, you know, if I've been drinking or something like that, I don't know, you know, maybe I'll lift it up then, you know, just because I don't know why. But I know for a fact, before I left here today, just to go to Starbucks, that was down.
I mean, if anybody saw, like, if his parents, friends saw this video, he was slipping through the cracks, or people just didn't know how to deal with him. I don't know. Had to be a pretty feckin' big crack. Then, in July 2017, right, so I'm just listing through all of the incidents that Travis was up to. In July 2017, he went to the...
We're only halfway through. How many times I've paused this is insane, but this guy is next level.
The White House, and he demanded an audience with Trump at the time. You know, he said he was a sovereign citizen and he had a right to inspect the grounds.
You know what? This is what's sad. If he would have been like, yeah, if I go... Sorry, I was reading this. I just wanted to read this. But, like, as I was saying, if, to be honest, if he would have been like, hey, if I go to President Trump, say I need to go talk to him on this situation, think he'd talk to me? My answer would be like, yeah, he probably would. He'd probably even, like, believe you. He's so ridiculous in the head. He probably would believe you. Go after Taylor Swift, too.
He's very lucky he wasn't shot by the Secret Service. But you know, he was saying he was a sovereign citizen, and he did not recognize the U.S. government. Unfortunately, though, the government recognized him. So for trying to break into the White House, he got the mighty punishment of 32 community service hours. So. And the police, they did take all his guns away from him.
I mean, that's not good, but I guess that he didn't actually break it. I don't know if he really committed a crime. He's just a guy who's lost his fucking mind, and I think they knew that.
He had, like, an assault rifle, handguns, all sorts of stuff. Shotguns and all. The police, they were like, okay, listen, you can't have a firearm, obviously. So they took it all away, and they later gave it to his dad, Jeffrey, who later gave it back to Travis, so.
His dad's an idiot. His dad's an actual idiot. His dad is not. His dad is an. His dad should be in prison with him for this. His dad's an absolute idiot.
In the autumn of 2017, Travis then moved to Nashville, Tennessee, which is where Taylor Swift calls home. So then, in February,
That's interesting. They moved to where she is to avoid her stalking him in his mind. Interesting.
Literally, like, it's like every 2 months, something happens. A big red flag happens, but the race doesn't stop. In February 2018, in Alcoa, which is 3 hours east of Nashville, the police were once again called on Travis Reinking. A young mother was staying at a motel with her 2 small children, and Travis was right outside her room. He was shouting and roaring, claiming that, you know, people were stalking him, people were harassing him, people were, like, outside his room window looking in. So he was roaring her head off, and this young mother, she went out and she was like, here, listen, my kids are trying to sleep, would you just maybe shut up? So he then burst into her room, and he started threatening her. So the police were called.
I came out here to my car, and this man down here was running up and down up the top, and then down here screaming at everyone's door, telling them he'll make as much noise as he wants. And I looked at him, I said, I have kids, and they're getting ready for bed. And he was right there in that white truck, literally ran into our hotel and tried to hit me. Acted like he was going to put his hands on me.
Where's he at now?
He's down there with the man that owns this place.
Down towards
They're
the
walking
office,
toward the office.
237.
Hey man, what's going on?
How's it going?
Good.
I don't know. I'm trying to get a refund.
Okay, we just got a call that you just went in somebody else's room.
No, I didn't go in anyone's room.
You got your ID on you?
Yeah.
The reason I'm here is we just got a call from, I think it's room 125, that you went into the room without being invited in, basically.
No, I didn't ever go in the room.
Okay, were you banging on the door or anything like that?
No, I was walking by trying to figure out who's not.
Here's the thing: the police are stupid, right? Right? A girl ain't gonna make that up. You would not make that up. You would not see this guy walking down the street or walking past the area, and then call the police saying he ran into the building and ran into someone's room. I would have taken this way more seriously, but police clearly in the world in general are not clearly bright at all.
On my window. Someone's knocking on my window outside the building. They come outside on the railing, right out front of the door. You know, there's no one who's be standing right in front of my door.
Okay.
And they'll be talking loud at night. They'll knock on the windows and then walk off, and I don't know who it is.
Okay.
And they do this just to harass somebody. And it's several nights in a row, and I got sick of it. So I went out. I'm walking up and down the porch, and I'm making noise. You know, because I don't like it. I don't like shit like that. I don't want other people to understand how I feel. You know, when people are just being loud and noisy for no fucking reason. This lady then comes walking up and she's like, "What are you doing?" Blah blah blah. You know, and sticking her nose in the business. Like, if you just got here, I mean, apparently you had nothing to do with it. But now she wants to police people, and it's just like, what are you doing? You know, just leave me alone.
The lady, she declined to press charges, and Travis left.
You're saying one thing, she's saying something different, so it's he said, she said at this point. I would, yeah, I'd recommend just, you know, if you're going to try to get out of here, find you another place, all right? So, all right, man.
He again worked in construction until early April 2018 when he was fired. He got another job swiftly after. He showed up for one day and then never again. Then in May 2018, he somehow, he went to a BMW dealership. He somehow was able to steal the key for a car. He led the police on this like GTA, very brief.
Wait, how did he get a key to a BMW car in a dealership? I actually want to know how that happened. How on earth did he get that?
Police chase.
Yeah, what's going on the stairs? Do we know what
and then abandoned the car outside his apartment, complex. So the car was recovered. They used GPS to find it, but they didn't know who had done it, so they didn't arrest him. They didn't know Travis was responsible. And then, in the early hours of May 22nd, 2018, Travis, that dark night, he pulled into the parking lot of the Waffle House in Antioch and watched. After 4 minutes, he got out with an assault rifle. He opened fire at 2 people standing outside. One was Joe Perez Jr., who had stopped by because he had a flat tire, and another was Tareen Sanderlin, a cook who had stepped outside for a smoke break. Then he began shooting into the restaurant, and he marched in, firing all the way, while terrified patrons ducked for cover. Some hid in the bathroom calling 911. Some played dead. Others tried to get into the bathrooms, but the doors were locked. And then Travis began shooting at the people huddled on the floor. Ultimately, 4 people would be killed by Travis that night. Joe Perez Jr., Tareen Sanderlin, Ebony Groves, and Aquila De Silva. It would have...
Why did it have to get to this point? Why did it have to get to that point where he was able to do this? I still stick with the story. His father's an idiot and should partially be responsible for the fact he handed the gun right back to him when he knew the mindset of this dude. He knew what his son's mindset was, and that it was not in the right place, yet still handed this motherfucker guns. He should be jailed. He should be held just as responsible almost as the fucking dude is.
Have also been a hell of a lot more, if not for the extremely brave actions of one of the customers inside, 29-year-old James Shaw Jr. When Travis burst in, he ran, but he slipped as he ran towards the bathroom. A bullet had grazed his elbow, and so when Travis got in there, James lunged for him. He grabbed the rifle by its red-hot barrel, completely scalding his hand, and he managed to struggle with Travis, ultimately winning and tossing the weapon behind the counter. They then wrestled for a bit, Travis lost his jacket, and then Travis ran outside. Travis then booked it into the woods nearby. The whole thing lasted for 42 seconds. The police were late arriving, actually, because they went to the wrong Waffle House, but when they arrived at the scene...
Good job, police. Dumbasses.
It was absolute carnage. The truck, it was identified quickly and linked to Travis right away. It wasn't much of a whodunit. And then the manhunt began.
According to witnesses...
Oh, I'm surprised they did. I'm surprised they're like, well, we didn't see him do it. I mean, what we didn't see him load the gun and bring it in and shoot it. I mean, what do you want us to do?
The person of interest in this matter, a Travis Reinking, arrived in his pickup truck.
Well, not again. It took till someone died for them to care about him. Why does someone why do innocent people have to die in order for police to give a shit about almost anything?
He got out. There were persons outside the restaurant talking. He shot them. He then went inside the restaurant. More shots were fired, and one of the patrons was hit. The police department special response team, officers from a variety of components of the police department, as well as our helicopter, is up now trying to find him.
Travis, he had run all the way back to his apartment. He had showered, he had changed, and he had put together a backpack which included a handgun. The police, they arrived there swiftly after, but they just missed him.
We're telling everybody to be very cautious. We don't want to alarm people, but certainly everybody should take precaution.
Residents were advised to lock their doors, the dogs came out, the whirlybirds came out, and Travis even made it briefly to the FBI's 10 most wanted. The manhunt for Travis Reinking lasted 36 hours before this call was made.
And he's in behind the elementary school, headed towards the TVA lines in the woods. From a distance, it looks like this guy. He's got mud all over him.
Travis Reinking was arrested and charged with the 4 murders along with a host of other charges. And finally, Travis Reinking was, well, not necessarily sure if it's where he belongs, but at least there he couldn't hurt anyone else or himself. Though he had already done enough damage, that's for sure. Do you have
Oh my god, I just thought this. Can you imagine? Like, this isn't... Obviously, it doesn't actually affect it. But could you imagine if this got back to Taylor Swift? That this guy was so delusioned about her that it caused this. God, that's gotta mess with your psyche, because you didn't do anything yet. This guy went off the rails just because of her existing, pretty much.
Ebony Groves was 21 years old, a senior at Belmont University, a top student and a star athlete. Aquila da Silva was 23 years old, and it seems he had a budding music career ahead. He was a rapper and video producer, he was hardworking, and he had a bright future. Terrain Sanderlin was 29 years old, a Tennessee native, and he'd been working at that Waffle House for about 5 years. He was known as a loving family man. Joe Perez was 20, from Texas, and he worked in an appliance store. He was only at that Waffle House as he had a flat tire and he had pulled in. He was actually calling his brother to help him out when Travis arrived. The call never went through.
How's it going, everybody? So last night I went out with my best friend. We went to a club out in Antioch, the Antioch area. If it was going to come down to it, he was going to have to work to kill me. So at the time that he was either reloading or the gun jammed or whatever happened is when I ran through the swivel door. I hit him with the swivel door, and then the gun was kind of jammed up and it was pushed down, so we were scuffling. Yeah, I knew I had it in me, but I haven't had any specific combat training. It's just, I had to fight my daughter every night so I can get her, put her to bed, but
Okay. Mr. Rankin, you've got 4 new charges. I'm the magistrate with the night court, and we're here to tell you your charges and the amount of your bond. You have 4 charges for criminal homicide. Total bond is $2 million. Do you have any question about your charges or your bond?
No, I don't.
Okay, sir.
In August 2018, Travis Reinking, he was deemed incompetent to stand at trial. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia. However, the judge later reversed what the psychologists and the psychiatrists said and deemed him fit to stand trial. He was like, you're good enough. He was indicted on 17 counts, and he pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity.
I mean, the guy's clearly not all there. So, I understand. However, I can understand this judge being like, you know what? There were so many red signs. You are not all there, but you know what? I'm gonna make sure there's justice. Because the thing that I've also noticed is that a lot of people use by way of insanity as their new way of getting out of prison. Like, the new way of not going to prison. If they know there's no way they'll actually, be found not guilty, they'll just do that one. That's one I've noticed. So, I'm glad those judges are like, no, you're going to jail for the rest of your life.
We'll begin with the defense and the prosecution with their opening arguments expected to come down, setting the stage for the rest of the trial. And keep in mind, just as Aaron said, the defense will address the issue of Travis Ranking's sanity or lack of it at the time of the crime. The prosecution will make the point that he knew the difference from right or wrong and that he would not have ran from the scene of the shooting if he didn't know the difference.
His trial began in early 2022. His defense, rested on he was not mentally well. He didn't know what he was doing. He was not in control. He was not, he was not there.
Is that Travis Reinking is severely mentally ill.
You are partially right and you are partially wrong. You are partially right in the fact that this guy is not mentally well. That is fact. You look at the evidence of the last few years, that is fact. Where this goes wrong is that he didn't know what he was doing, because I still believe he knew perfectly well what he was doing that time. So I disagree with that.
Schizophrenic. And he's battled this for years. And you're going to hear expert testimony to talk about a 3 to 5 year period leading up to that night when he's in Nashville. He is completely untethered from reality. And he is driven by his delusion that people are after him. You're going to hear a testimony that Mr. Ryan King believed that he could communicate with aliens and was regularly communicating with aliens. That Mr. Ryan King believed he could speak directly and to God. You're going to hear that Mr. Ryan King believed he was commanded by God to go to the Waffle House in defense of himself and other people. That the people at the Waffle House, in his mind, were government agents. That were responsible for all the torment that he was perceiving over those years.
The prosecution, though, were arguing he planned everything he did. He knew it, and he followed through with it.
Now, when Travis Ryan King showed up to that Waffle House, he chose not to wear any clothing other than that green jacket that carried the 2 additional magazines, the 60 additional rounds.
I think the thing to me that makes it clear that he at least somewhat knew what he was doing is the minutes of him sitting there. Because probably a battle was going on in his head on if he should do it. But it wasn't like he randomly just pulled in, walked out, grabbed the gun, and started shooting. Because that maybe you could say it wasn't his right mind, because he could just had a bad, very dangerously bad blackout moment. But that moment, those minutes of him sitting there, to me, is what cements as he knew what he was doing. Or was aware of what he was doing.
He fired 30 rounds. And Travis Ryan King made a choice. He made several choices that led to the shooting. Travis Ryan King went there to take something that couldn't be given back. He went there to take lives. The evidence will be that this was an act of revenge done out of anger.
In the Criminal Court of Davidson County, Tennessee, Division 6, State of Tennessee versus Travis J. Rankin, we, the jury, unanimously find Travis J. Rankin for the offense of premeditated first-degree murder. Guilty. Count 2, we, the jury.
He was found guilty on all charges and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Good. Good. Took 4 innocent lives. You should be in jail for life. Should never be able to see society again.
Punishment of imprisonment for life without possibility of parole or imprisonment for life.
And there he remains today, hopefully getting the treatment he should have gotten many, many years before.
I doubt it, but maybe. I really doubt he doesn't. They give a shit about his well-being.
James Shaw Jr. is a recognized hero, deservedly so. He saved, countless lives, if not for his actions to stop Travis. Many, many more would have been murdered. Really brave guy. He ended up raising a load of money for the victims' families as well. He was like,
I will agree. Very brave dude. Ooh, was playing with his life then. But yeah, he did well. Good job on him for risking his life to save others.
Fair play to him.
Travis Ringking is accused of killing 4 people at a Waffle House in Nashville last year. Prosecutors say his father, Jeffrey Ringking, who lives in Morton, Illinois, was holding Travis's guns because his FOID card was revoked. However, they say...
Thank you. I was sitting there like, I know they're not going to give him anything, but that father should be held responsible for the fact he gave them that dude back his guns. Obviously, he's not going to be accused, arrested for the same thing, but thank God, I don't know if he's actually going to be found guilty of anything. you might be told, but thank God they actually did something about that.
Say dad Jeffrey gave them back to son Travis.
Travis's dad, Jeffrey Reinking, he too would be arrested because, well, you know, he did give the gun back to his son, who is clearly mentally ill, and the same gun he would use when he walked into that Waffle House. The authorities initially did the right thing by saying this guy should not have a gun, and then Jeffrey was like, whoops. He hasn't been sentenced yet. I understand he applied for a new attorney. He could get up to 3 years in prison or probation.
He should go to prison. I'm sorry, he should. There were people's lives were taken by choices his stupid ass made. He absolutely should go to prison. I don't think he's a life in prison type thing, but 3 years, perfectly fine with me. Absolutely should go to prison. His stupid ass partially caused this.
Travis was like really, really screwed. I mean, it's one of those cases I don't really know what to think. He clearly needed help. Help he never got, even though there was, you know, red flags everywhere. I mean, he was insane at the time. Clearly, you know, there's a lot of instances of him not being in the right frame of mind. But then he also cruelly murdered 4 people and injured a hell of a lot more too. I don't know. Should he be in a hospital right now? Should he be in prison right now? You know, let me know your thoughts about this case as always down below. I don't really feel there's any kind of clear conclusion to this. It was just a lot of shit went wrong that shouldn't have. But yeah, kind of wraps this one up. Not really in a nice little bow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you thought about this story. Oh god, it's about 50 minutes. That's not longer than I thought it did. I want to hear what you guys thought of this story, though. Down below. In the comments. Let me know what you thought of this. Again, let me know where you're watching this video from, just because I'm curious. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And yeah, I'll see you all for the next one.